Okay, good morning, everyone. Today class is our basically second lab. The first lab was a very short one, just so how to download and install Fortune Sandbox, which is a simulation environment for working with Hadoop. So in the today class, we start our first experiment with Hadoop. I wanted to make it asynchronous, but I was thinking since it's the lab, being asynchronous might be very difficult for you guys. So today class is hybrid, but I will post a asynchronous video because Monday I had an issue with my laptop. I couldn't teach that day, unfortunately. But so you will see a video later regarding the materials that should be covered on last Monday. Also, I don't have mask because I want the people who's watching video can hear me, but your friends that are in the class have enough distance from me. So it's the reason I don't have mask. So I have mask, but I didn't put it on. So, okay, let's start today. So today we are working with a traditional database, movie ratings and rating, and there's some people who gave, I think everybody gave 20 ratings to 20 different movies. And we're just going to work with that, importing Hadoop environment. Then we try some Python code over the data that we have. Okay, so please go to the address and download that file. It's over my GitHub. It's actually a very famous data set. You can even Google the name ML100K and you can easily find it from other resources. I give you like a couple of minutes. You can just select this address and copy paste it on your browser, or press Control and click on the link. It's already installed. Download on my download folder. Then go to your VirtualBox and load the Horton. Let's just call it HTTP 265 or Horton. Four minutes or 5 minutes to download the file and also run Horton Sandbox. So I hope you already increased the amount of RAM. If you look at my VirtualBox, is that? you see that my base memory is 19,000 megabytes, 19 gigabytes. So I think the default is 8,000 megabytes. If you didn't change the default, probably your loading time is much more than me. So since it's the first time, I wait a little bit for all of your friends to load the Horton Sandbox. So for the people that watch the video later, you can pause and then you can load the file, the video. So okay, so as you see, we have two box. The first one is a welcome screen with that environment. Second one is which I get it later. So let's first 18 your browser. For some of you, you might get the error. If it's the first time, probably you don't see an error, but if you get any error loading, just press Control Shift Enter, and you see black screen. And type localhost 1080 here. In the hybrid setting. So as you see, this is like in the back, you see two Chrome. The first one, the white one, is the traditional one. The black one, the way that I load it, just press Control Enter N, and then type localhost 1080. Don't worry if you forget it. I mean, if you go to PowerPoint, it here. Okay, I put it here. So there's a command for Windows user and Mac users, and which is kind of similar. So with these two commands, you can run incognito session, the black browser that you have seen. You may not get the error, that's totally fine, but in just in case that you see any error. Okay, then press Launch Dashboard. For username and password, both of them are Mario underline DV or dev. If you don't get any error, you don't have to run an incognito session, but sometimes people error. So type Maria underline DEV for both username and password, then sign in. So the people are in the I mean, watching this session through Zoom. If you cannot see any some comments, so I can understand. You cannot see what I'm doing. So basically, I ran graphical interface over Hadoop. You don't need to do that much of coding. You can just use the graphical interface for. If you want to more advanced we need to get through Hadoop through SSH, which we do it later. So you might see some sign here, warning sign. A lot of time to all of the services run, like all of them are not completely running. Too much of time, and the warnings, go action and start. It takes a lot of time for me. Sometimes for some reasons, it takes a lot of time to all the services to get back. So in this course, we only Hadoop data format systems. You know that yarn. Last class is for it stands for yet another resource negotiation, making arrangement with resources that you have over your Hadoop system. We talked about high HBase, pig, and all of the services later. In the last class, we had a little for SQL data to Hadoop, and no worries. It might be, but we work with all of them later. So look at them now. Some of the warning sign changed to green, means the services get back to running. So no worries if you see some of them, some warning signs. It might take less or more for you to just get all of them back into the system. Okay, so in one of your PowerPoint pages, page 6, I put a snapshot of my Ambari graphical interface when all of the services are running. So if eventually you see such a screen, if it's the first time you install Hadoop Sandbox, Hortonworks Sandbox, you may restart or just run it again. So what is our first task? Basically, we want to enter the data, the data set that we downloaded to Hadoop environment without any command lines. We just use graphical interface to just load them into the Hadoop system. So having said that, here, mouse, let me show if your friends see. Okay. Your mouse over there and go files view. In the files view, go to user. And you see different users. Mario Dev is the user. Click on Mario _ Dev. As you see here, the yellow rectangle, 0 files or folders. Now I want to load files into Hadoop using Ambari. So click on upload, the drag file, upload, click on browse. So I already downloaded the movie lens dataset. What's that? 100K. If you didn't unzip the folder, please unzip it. Then Now, after when you unzip the zip ML 100K, we want to of your the data set that we want to look at this. Let's open it before getting into Hadoop system. So I go right click, open it. It depends on, you might have another, that's fine. I just, Notepad is the easiest one. So as you see, there is no, if you data set, just Google movie lens. Basically, the first column is user ID. It's we rated the movies, and they have each of them. The second is the movie ID number. The third column is the amount, the star number. And the last column is the timestamp, or it's not the traditional format. Computer would convert it to the form. This is eventually it would be converted like maybe 1998 August 12 or 12 August 12, 1998. So Python would understand what does it mean. Basically, just instead of putting like August, comma, 2nd, 1999 or whatever, they change it to the format that is easier for Python or other datasets. We also have another table, which is u.item. If you right click, open with the notepad, it might be scary, but basically the first one is movie ID, movie name. For example, the first one is Toy Story, year, IMDb link address. You can find it, further information, IMDb, and some other information. So basically, this dataset is about, this table is about the movie, but u.data is about users' ratings to different movies. Anyway, we want to bring both of them. So first, I go to u.data, drag, and put it into my, I just drag and drop in Hadoop. I can upload the second one, which is u.item. Simply, I just go there, select, drag, and drop into Amber. I think my mouse has a problem today, but let's see. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the surface that working with mouse. Okay, simply I just drag and drop two files. It mostly look like a email service. You know, it's super easy. Then if I again go to my user, which is Maria_dev, you can see I have these two files. You can rename, delete, copy, move, download. It's similar, very similar to a simple email service. So if you want to do different thing, you can just simply open it. Then snapshot of again, I can download over my data set. Name it, for example. I can say user underline rating. can remain. So I give you like 5 minutes to play with the Ambari environment. Then I just wait. Also, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can just easily play and copy, paste. Yeah, you want. So the flows that are at home or watching through Zoom, if you have any questions, you also can use your microphone or text me over Zoom so I can look at your questions. Probably there is a question, so let me see. So one of your friends told me that the stream is unstable. What do you mean? You mean that my voice is disconnected or the video is disconnected? Might be some internet issue. Either, oh, my voice is not clear. So okay. So the other people who is using Zoom over home, do you have any issue in my voice? Okay, it seems we have technical issue over there. So probably the internet connection either from my side, because two of you had the issue in hearing my voice. I guess there is a university internet problem. I mean, it's out of my control, but I let people know. Hopefully next time we don't have any technical problem. Sorry, last time my computer had a problem, this time the university internet. But I'm going to upload the video. So if you have any problem now, hopefully you can resolve it later when you watch my videos. But sorry, I cannot just fix it in the middle of class. I'm just using the university internet. Okay, I'm just new folder, copy paste. Let's just want to delete. Send it to trash folder permanently. I don't want to cover later. Delete permanently. Okay, wait a little more. So if you guys have questions, you can ask me. Yes, what's your, okay, okay, let me see. Okay, what's your question? So your friend's question, okay, let me just remove it. Your friend's question was why he couldn't load the local host. The reason when you, the only way that you can local host, you should have your Horton Sandbox running. So you shouldn't close your Horton Sandbox virtual environment while using the local host. Okay, the next experiment, we want to do exactly similar thing with the command lines. So if you're using Windows, you already need to install PuTTY, which brings you a command prompt similar to Linux environment. For the Mac users, you can just open terminal. I'm not sure, but probably it's the command. So for the Mac user, just type SSH Mario underline dev and @127.0.01 -p port number 2222. For Windows users, hopefully you already installed PuTTY, but I give you like 1 or 2 minutes to install it if you haven't. Just Google PuTTY Windows and you can. You're supposed to install it before, but because I wait a little bit, otherwise you missed what I'm going to tell you next. So let me. So for the Windows user, hopefully you already installed. So if you already installed PuTTY, just type PuTTY here. So for host name, type Maria underline dev @ 127. Sorry, 127. Put 0.0.0.1. And for the port, 222. And you can put it, save it, just like maybe Horton or any names. After you save it, next time you can just click on the name, like me here, and you can just get to your, something like Linux command prompt. So I click on HTTP because I already saved Mario underline dev 127.0.01 and my port address. Now it's asking me now what is my address. Sorry, my password is still Mario underline dev. Now I'm inside my Hadoop file system without graphical interface. Again, if you want to do some advanced job, probably you need to just do it through command prompt. But for traditional casual works, graphical. So now we are working with some Linux command prompts and also some Linux commands and also some Hadoop commands. But Linux commands are just or Linux commands are similar to Mac commands because their base are similar. But for running code inside Hadoop, you type hadoop.fs then /Linux command. Just give you an example. So I type ls. It shows files inside my local computer. My local computer is like simulated local computer. It's because I'm working through VirtualBox. So there is no actual local computer, but we simulated that. So with ls, it just lists all the files that you have in your local system. But I want to list all of the file in my Hadoop environment. So I just type Hadoop fs /ls. As you see, there's nothing in my Hadoop. So now I'm trying to move a file out of Hadoop environment into from my Linux environment to my Hadoop environment. So first of all, I need to make a directory inside my Hadoop. I put commands there because I don't expect you to memorize the commands. And as you see, the first is Hadoop FS. So it can understand I'm doing a Hadoop code. Then /mkdir. If you know Linux, mkdir means make new directory. Basically, mkdir stands for make directory. And after that, ml/100k is the directory name. So here, I just type Hadoop fs, means I'm running a Hadoop code, /mkdir, make a new directory, ml-100k. So here, you can change the ml-100k. It's just arbitrary name. It's the name of a folder that you're going to make. So, but the rest should be exactly the same as what I'm doing. Now, I want to see if it's created or not. I type Hadoop fs. Again, means Hadoop file system /ls. ls stands for list. That's one item found, and if you look at the end of this line, ml-100k. So basically, this is the folder that I created. You can make a new folder. So okay, I see Jade in the class, so I can make a name with the Jade name. Hadoop fs /mkdir. Jade. You can make it different names if you. Then again, Hadoop fs /ls. Enter. As you see now, I have a folder name with the name of Jade. So you see that you need to type a lot of words. There's a way around it. There is some arrow key on your keyboard. Just press the up arrow key. You see the last command. Second time, command. I just go over different commands that I created. For example, if I want to make a new directory, I to type Hadoop fs slash mkdir ml100k. I just press arrow key and I went to that command. Now I want to make a new folder name. I see ChainU is in the Zoom, so I make a name with the ChainU name. Now I want to go to list of all the folders in my Hadoop system. I just press arrow key and I go to Hadoop fs-ls, press. So now I have new folder name. So you don't have to type everything. You can press arrow key up and down and go to that command. And maybe you just need to change the last part. Any questions so far? You might ask me why in the embodied graphical interface, you can easily drag and drop and do the file into Hadoop system. But when you want to do advanced jobs, usually there is not that much of graphical interface for them. You need to do everything by coding. So the common jobs are, usually people make a graphical interface for the most common jobs, but not for everything. So it's the reason we are learning command prompts, but for uploading new file or for creating new folder, you can just easily load the graphical interface. So now let's download the, as you see, I put the link here, it gets a file. And it's in front of wget, sorry. It's in front of wget, you have the address. So there's a way around it. You can't type everything. You can just type wget https, comma, / everything to the end. One way around it, just go in my PowerPoint, right click, copy, and in the putty, don't do anything except for right click. Now I downloaded that. So I have a question right now. Where is my zip file? Is it in the Hadoop or inside the local Linux environment? Who can answer my question? You know, as you see my putty terminal, which is like simulated Linux terminal, I downloaded the file. Okay, one of your friends answered the question. Yes. Oh, Jade, you are here. You can simply talk. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jade is right. It's downloading the local system. As I already said, want to run a Hadoop type. Where's that, my mouse? Hadoop fs, then the command. Since for downloading, I didn't put Hadoop fs, it just did it over my local system. Now, if we want to check if it's actually there, just type ls. Look at this red name, ml100k.zip. So it's now downloaded in the local system. So we want to do exactly what we did in the embodied system, in an embodied graphical interface. In that interface, we uploaded u.data. But that u.data, which is the information about the ratings, is inside the zip file. you need to unzip the file that you already downloaded. Look at the comment that I put in the PowerPoint, just unzip the zip file. So I type unzip, and I need to put the full name, but you don't have to, you know, I just type ML and then press tab. Linux just complete the rest. So I didn't type ML dash 100k.zip. I'll just type up to ML, then press tab. So Linux just automatically fill the rest. Now I unzip the folder. Let's do ls. Look at the blue name is the folder that I unzipped. So is the unzipped folder. So later you can remove folder. I do it later because now we want to work with the files that we have in the folder. You can just type rf 100. By using that, you can just get without 100. Let's do it. So I type rm/rf ml-100k, then ls. Now I don't have that folder. There's no blue name. So again, let me just unzip it. Now I have it. So later, if you want to get rid of it, basically, if you don't put with rm, you can remove it. You don't have to put a /rf. But if you don't put a /rf, it just, you know, there's so many files inside the ml-100k. Just ask one by one, do you really want to delete it or not? So we want to skip those questions. So it's the reason I put a /.rf. Again, if you're for your final project, you need. If you're for final project, you don't need to memorize command. You can just easily Google the name, how to do this, how to do that in Linux, and you can find the command. But I usually put the most common commands in the PowerPoint, so you don't have to Google it. But you can just Google and find similar things. Now, made a folder inside Hadoop with the name of ml-100k and downloaded that in the local system. Now we want to copy from local system inside the folder within our Hadoop environment. So what can you do? Hadoop FS means Hadoop file system / copy from local. So copy from local means copy the file from the local system, which is very obvious. We know that in the local system, our file is inside ml-100k /u.data. This is destination origin. Now I need to identify destination folder in my Hadoop system. So ml-100k /u.dat. Or you can just copy and paste from PowerPoint. So let's see if it's copied or not. Hadoop fs-ls-100k. So look at the comment that I put in the footing. I put Hadoop fs means Hadoop command, /ls means list, and then put a folder name. So instead of going to the root of Hadoop, it just check which files is within ml-100k And as you see, within that folder, we have u.dat. So it means we could successfully copy that file. Then same as graphical interface, let's delete the files and folder. So let's first remove the copied file. So by the way, Hadoop shouldn't be capital. So let me just change it to lowercase. Okay, so this time I just copy from PowerPoint. In the putty, I just right click. Copy. As you see, when I type Hadoop FS ls, I don't have ml-100k folder because I already deleted. So as you see, we had to type 5 or 6 lines to do exactly the same thing that we did with Ambari graphical interface. So I give you like 5 minutes to play with that. You can bring or just copy paste here and there, and you can just have some hands-on experience. So if you have questions, I'm here. So I give you like 5 minutes to play with the codes. Questions? Then load it again. Okay. Okay. So when I go away, I'm not going away actually, I'm just going around the class and respond to your friends' questions. So it's the reason you suddenly you don't see me. So for the people that get into class through Zoom, if you have questions, you can just simply ask me. Oh, questions. So one of your friends asked, she couldn't sign in through Putty. I assume if let's see, just check if your address is right, and also you haven't shut down your VirtualBox. Your VirtualBox should be running. What I mean running, you should see the welcome screen, like the black one that I'm showing in the Zoom, and also the address should be right. The address. Otherwise, I don't know, it might be, you might have some firewall problem in your system, your virus doesn't let you connect. So if you couldn't resolve it later, just ask me through my office hours so I can check. I'll look at your system more specifically and hopefully we can resolve it. Okay, let's just close the system and again we open it, but in the Putty just type exit. You close Putty. And for your Horton sandbox, go to machine and then click on Acpi Shutdown. It's the way that you shut down your virtual environment correctly. Otherwise, if you don't do it in such a way, you might face a problem in long term. This is a really huge system. You need to shut it down properly. So through the machine, click on Acpi Shutdown. And it takes like 2 or 3 minutes to shut down your system. You can just simply close it. Just press on the X button here, but in the long term, you might face some problems. So please shut it down properly. Okay, now we look at 2 problems and how we answer those problems through MapReduce methodology. Then later we run a Python code. So you can see how it actually runs through Python. So this is our data set. In the U.data, you don't see the column name, but basically the first column is user ID, second movie ID, third the ratings that people gave to movies, and timestamps. This is actual, again, is actual date, but in the Python format. Later you can see this is a machine format of time. You can see it in the human format into Python. You can easily convert the timestamp column to the format that you like. Okay, what we want to do in this small data set, we want to see how many ratings were done by different users. For example, user ID 196 did 1 rating here, second rating here, and third ratings here. So he did 3 ratings, he or she. User 202 did 2 ratings here. So he or she did 2 ratings, and 166, just 1 rating. So first, we map the data to different nodes. Mapping simply just means you have, let's say here we have 3 data nodes. How do the way that MapReduce works, each node just pick 1/3 of the data. The first node pick the first two line. Second node take the second line, third and fourth line. The last node take care of the 5th and 6th data points. By the way, for counting how many ratings they did, we don't need the second and the third and fourth column. We don't need to know amount of rating and also the date. So we can get rid of the third and fourth column, and actually it's a good way because we reduce the calculation time. So then for doing this, for solving this problem, we just look at the first and second columns because it's enough. So after mapping, we do shuffle and sort. Shuffle and sort means based on the key, which is the user ID, we sorted that. So user ID 196, it's movie IDs, user ID 202, 3 movie IDs, and 166, 1 movie ID. So we sort based on the user ID. So it's the sorting one. So basically, first we mapped it, yes. Could you say louder, please? Oh yeah, come on, show me your question. Thank you very much. There's a kind of typo in the figure. I fix it later. There's a, yes, she's very right. 196 did 447. So 447 should be here, 377 should be here. So I fixed it later. So, but you got the feeling, you sort based on the user ID. And the last one is reducer part or aggregation actually. In the reduce part, we just count how many ratings was done with each user. So for example, 196, 2 ratings. So 222, 3 ratings, and 166, 1 rating. So this is the final result. Okay, any questions? I give you like 1 or 2 minutes to, if you have any other, but there's a, yes, there's a typo. So here I should change it to 474, and this one, okay, 302, 302. Okay, 192, 44. Okay, hopefully now it's right. Okay, so in this problem, we want to look at the distribution of rating. How many ratings do we have? So for distribution of rating, we just need to look at the rating columns. That's enough, so we can get rid of other columns. And first, we map our data based on ratings. So each node gets 1/3 of the data. Then we sort based on the rating number. Then we count how many ratings do we have. So first part, I divide data, like for example, 3 and 3, this node, 1 and 2, this node, 1 and 4, this node. As you see, in front of the rating value, I have 1. It's just a numerator because in the later algorithm, the way that I count how many ratings, I just sum up the ones. So it's the reason, but human doesn't, if you want to do it with your human brain, you don't need to put 1 there. It's extra. So having said that, you don't have to put 3,1, 3,1, you can just put 3. But because later in the Python algorithm, the way that of 3 I do have some of the ones, so the reason I put 1 over there. So in the after mapping, I sort based on the ID numbers, which is like, for example, 3 has 1, 1. 1 has 1, 1 because I have 2 ones. 2 has just 1, and 4. I sorted based on ID number. Then reduction, I just sum up the ones here. So for example, 3 is 1 plus 1, 2. ID of 1 has 2, ID of 2 has 1, and ID of 4 has 1. So if you look at here, twice, 1 repeated 2 twice, 2 repeated just 1 time, and 4 just repeated 1 time. Maybe for the sorting, it's better to change the location. So just put 2, 1 here. For the actual sorting, so for solving the previous story, we need to define mapper and reducer function. So this is the definition of mapper function. The first part is, the DEF, mapper rating. So DEF is just for defining a function. Mapper underline rating is the function name. Self means basically it's just extra thing for object-oriented program because I have object data that comes to my function. So no worries. Underline is just for chain mapper or reducer function. You might have some mapper and reducer function that works in a chain. So these are for that aspect, but you don't need to worry about self and underline here. The only thing we have line. So what does it do? It just get the data line by line from u.data and split by tab. If there's a space or tab space, it just split the data. The first data is the user ID, second movie ID, then rating, and then timestamp. So rating and 1, same as what you saw here. So rating and 1. This is the outcome of the mapper function. So shuffle would be done, shuffle and sort would be done by Hadoop by itself, but in the for the reducer function, we have 3 items. Again, self means the object, that object that comes to your function. Again, no worries, don't need to worry about the self. The second option is key, the third is value. So what it does, rating would be key here, like rating 3, 4, 5, whatever. It just sum up all of the values. If you look at this figure here, so rating of 1, of 1 and value of 1, 1, it just sum up the ones. So outcome of the reducer function is 1, 2. It just means how many ratings we have, because here we have 2 1 ratings. The outcome is 2. Outcome of 2 is 1 because summation of values would be 1. Summation of rating of 3 would be 1 plus 1, 2, and 4 will be 1. So what you see here is outcome of this function. Any questions so far? And this is the overall function. As you see, I imported the package into my some functions from package. I define it through a class of rating histogram. So rating histogram is basically just arbitrary name. I'm using MR job. In the step, I define a step function, which is in this part I just define which is mapper, which is reducer. Basically, here just the MR step. Mapper equals self.mapper rating. Mapper rating is just the function that we define for mapper. We define reducer function, which is self and something compulsory when you want to work with object-oriented programming. And then you put the definition of your mapper and reducer function. And this part is also should be fixed. Basically, you want to tell Python knows that whenever you see ratings.histogram, just run whole the code. But no worries about this part. It's just you need to put it in your commands, these 2 lines. So as you see, we need to install some packages before running the code. You cannot run the code now. And I guess we get end of the class today, but let me just. So we need to install some packages to run that. So you need to log in as a root user that has enough privileges to install the packages. So please go here, run your Hadoop again. sorry, Horton Sandbox. And I run putty. I already made a name here, so I don't need to put all of the address here. Just click on the underline dev. So look at the PowerPoint that I put here. You need to get in the root user. So just type su space ROT root. So first, I already make a password, but first your initial password is Hadoop, lowercase, not uppercase. So after you type Hadoop, it asks you to change your password, but I already changed. So I type my new password, but it's what you see. If you look at the PowerPoint, after su root, it asks me to change the password. So I put the new password and retype it. My password is Hamid22. Please don't forget your password. Today morning, I had to install Hortonbox again because I forgot my password. But you can use my same password that I put there. The reason I put my password in the PowerPoint, I don't want to forget it again. So I put it in the PowerPoint next time. So, and these are the commands that you need to install pip. You need to install mrjob and nano. So just do step by step. For example, for pip, just type yum install python -pip. After that, type pip install / upgrade pip. Then install mrjob. Mrjob is just MapReduce job. Then nano. So I think we ran out of the time for today. Your friends in the next class just coming, but just do all of them. Just show your nano version and Python version. I just want to see if you could successfully install it. So you just need to copy and paste my codes here and run code and show me copy and paste a picture from then upload your assignment. Okay, that's for today. Sorry, we ran out of time. So, and hopefully see you in the next. If you have some issues, just let me know.